Hola, ¿cómo va? Ahí volvemos a empezar el vivo. Estamos listos transmitiendo a hacer la entrevista con Arash, el protagonista de Girl Walks at Home at Night. Así que bueno. ¿Cómo va, Axel? Bienvenido. ¿Cómo va? ¿Todo bien? Ale, ¿todo bien? Ahora ya estamos esperando a Arash para que se meta. Así que todo bien, estoy acá con mi mate, muy copado, así, listo, preparado, todos, ¿cómo va? Hey, ¿qué haces, Axel? ¿Todo bien? ¿Qué haces, Gas? Estamos listos, ahí ya le mandé el coso, a ver si... Está... Y bueno, espero que hayan visto la película, porque bueno, así podemos aprovechar un poco para hablar. ¿Qué hace Sari? ¿Cómo va? ¿Vieron todos la película? Así que me dijo que se la pueden bajar por torrent si quieren, así que no pasa nada. Lo importante es que las películas se vean. Así que, ¿qué haces, Calaverita? ¿Todo bien? ¿Cómo va? Así que, ¿qué cuentan? ¿Todo bien? Así que, a ver, le digo, a ver qué le aviso a Arash. Un segundito. Tará, tará. Vamos viendo. Genial. Ahí vamos esperándolo. A ver. Ya debe estar. Tendría que meterse. ¿Cómo? De México. Saludos. La de A Girl Walks at Home at Night. La película de la vampira, la vampiresa. Que está Arash como protagonista. Muy buena película, muy buena. Creo que de mis películas de terror favorita, después de Déjame entrar, viste, la sueca, que la verdad que muy buena, que salió del 2015. Y bueno, acá hablamos con el muchacho, a ver si puedo ubicarlo un segundito. ¿Cómo va? Sí, muy buena. Ahora ahí ya le avisé. Vamos a ver. ¿Qué dice? Ahí está. ¿Cómo va, Mati? Ahí está, Arash, ahí va. ¿Cómo va? Ahí tenés que pedir request to participate, so I approve and then we start. ¿Cómo va, Mati? ¿Todo bien? Gonzalo, ¿cómo andás? Ahí está, perfecto. Transmitir. Go, 4, 3, 2, 1 y... Pan. Hey, hi, Arash.
Hey,
Welcome.
thank you. Thanks for having me. So,
There's a,
tip,
well, they
typical.
were discussing about the film, the way they love it. Oh, great, great. That's the spirit.
That's the spirit. What's up?
Well, we usually start these chats with the beginning. I mean, your life story is amazing. You were born in Iran, and then you moved to Germany. And how did you enter to the world of the performance acting from the beginning? Let's start.
Well, I always wanted to become a doctor, and then when I was 17, I was in, I went to school. I was in high school, and then um, I had a girlfriend back then who had friends. Um, and they were one class, above us, and they were desperately searching for an actor. I was 17 back then, and they needed an actor for their show in a school play because one had canceled. And she said, like, hey, don't you wanna try? And I was like, I don't know about acting. I don't know if I can do this. And she said, come on, it's a very angry character. It's very, you just go on the stage and scream a little bit. And that is how it started. And then I went on stage and I was furious, and I saw that I like it.
And since then, what happened? Well, how to go from Iran from Germany changed your life? Because it must be hard to change from a country
Absolutely.
to other.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I was very small, so I didn't know. You know, I was for me it was. I have little, memories of Iran. So
Hmm.
basically, I'm more German than Iranian, except like the language and the food, of course.
Uh, and then you study in the perform art school, art performance art school of Berlin. What was the
In Hamburg,
experience?
in Hamburg. I was in Hamburg.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, it was a universe, an acting and music, or theater and music university.
hmm. And then, what was your first role, and how it was an interest, and how did you live your first role in movies? I assume you start as small roles.
No, basically it was like I I played theater only. I never knew I'm going to be in movies. I always liked the idea of being in movies because I grew up with films and I loved films and I like every other person. I walked around and quoted films and all this, So films were part of my life. But
Hmm.
and then I went to acting school and I played theater and I was about to, go to a theater career, but
Hmm.
but usually it leads to film, you either have the tendency to do it or the need to do it. And so it was kind of a, by accident, there was a director in Hamburg from the film school, and she needed someone to portray a young refugee, Iranian refugee in a family who got stuck in Germany and who doesn't have rights to leave his place and all this. So it's really, devastating, desperate life. And she called me and she said, would you please come to the audition? We need someone who like you. I was like, okay, I don't know if I can do it, but because I was in a theater play and I said, during that time I'm going to play theater and you want to start shooting then and then. And then she said, okay, still, just come and we'll see. And I went there and I had no pressure, so I did the audition and then I got the part. And that was my first film ever. So it was a 20-minute long,
How did you arrive to A Girl Walks at Home at Night? How did you met Anna Lily?
funny story was that first film that I saw, that I told you.
Mm.
That first film was shown to Lily. So just by accident, or I mean, I know, I remember she came to Germany in 2011. So, oh my goodness, it's 10 years now. I know her for 10 years. Oh my God. I just realized. I thought like, oh, because usually I say like, yeah, I met her like 6 years ago, but now it's 10 already. So I met her in Berlin during Berlinale, and so a friend, the producer of that film that I told you about, um, she arranged a meeting, and Lily and I met in a bar during Berlinale, and she came in, and we just got along very well. And then we didn't see each other for 1.5 years. And suddenly, I mean, we just got along, we partied, we talked a lot. And then 1.5 years later, she sent me this, she calls me and says, listen, we have to go, we have to meet on Skype. We have to talk. And I'm like, okay, what is it about? And she says, I wrote a part for you. I'm making a film in California. I wrote a part for you, and you have to do it. I'm like, okay, wait, what's going on? And I was like, okay, I'm not sure. Maybe I have to, I have to work in Germany and all this. I'm not sure if I can do it and all this. And she says, no, I don't accept this. You just have to come and do it. And yeah, the rest is history, basically.
And what was your first impression when you read the script? Because it's, as we talked before, it's a genre. But it's not technically horror. I would call it a Western horror, social, but it's still a horror because the main character is a vampire. How did you react when you read that?
Well, I thought it's cool. I mean, I thought it's cool that she's the boss in the film. And yeah, I went through each scene, and I was blown away, and I was like, okay, these are the films you want to make, these are the films you want to be part of. It's just very true and honest and sad and melancholic, and still entertaining, and she just touched that little seed in me that was still there, this little bit of Iran, because I mean the film takes place in a, it's a non-defined place. It can be Iran, it can be the US, it's a desert town somewhere, right? So it doesn't have a name necessarily. I mean, it has a name, but it's not defined by it's this country or that country. She just uses the symbols of the license plate is in Iranian letters, and all this. But yeah, I just enjoyed that. It moved me by, it gave me that feel of old Iranian films as well, and just it was mostly about the sadness of having lost something, and this is something I could relate to. It used to be a nice town, maybe it used to be not to be a drug addict. The father, there was a mother once. There was maybe, it was a better place once, and that's, I think, something I could relate to.
Yeah, for me, the film it's very interesting because everyone interpret different things. I remember when I watched it, there is practically no dialogue. It's all about scenes, and I love that because well, the film I recommend you that was made by an Argentinian director, Laura Casale, is kind of the same. It's no dialogue. I mean, and in a way, everyone has. There's a lot of YouTube videos like interpreting this film. Do you have your own interpretation about the film, or do you want to share it with us?
Oh, my own interpretation of why there is dialogue or why not?
No. What is happening in the end? What is happening with the character? Because there's a lot of theories going around explaining the movie. I know there's I mean, Anna knows what is really going on, but I don't know if you know. There's like 1,000 theories, YouTube videos explaining your movie. So,
no, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
It happens with this kind of films. It's kind of funny because for me, actually, the character, the vampire, in a way, it's one of interpretation is that the character of the vampire is the mother of your character. That's one of the interpretations.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, but that would be also a little bit, there is there is obviously some other thing between them as well. So I don't think,
Yeah.
uh, okay, you know, people see what they want to see. No, but the question is like, she's a vampire. She will evaporate. She will explode once she hits light.
Mm,
So what's happening now? They are driving into the morning sun,
mm,
and does the love between them prevents her from doing from having damage or something? I don't know. So that's
mm.
I admit it's open to interpretation, of course, but like you have in Pulp Fiction, the thing with the suitcase, everybody is
Yeah.
asking what is in the suitcase, and there are a lot of theories that apply, and I'm like, okay, this sounds plausible. That sounds like could be like this, but
Mm.
yeah, we just the
Yeah.
film ends there. So our film ends there. And what happens next? Maybe she kills him, maybe not. Probably not.
Mm. Probably.
Maybe,
A lot of people expect not, but we never
yeah.
know.
Maybe they drive somewhere and then hide in the dark, and then and maybe he
Mm.
lives with her in the nights from now on.
Um,
Maybe she
uh,
bites him.
uh,
Maybe she bites him and makes him a vampire too, and they live from there
but
on.
yeah, the interesting thing is that in the movie there is no explanation about the rules of these vampires. We know she can, use the cat as a way to spy things. We
Yeah,
know she can, have super strength, but still we don't know the exact rules. Something that I really like because when we don't, you don't need to define the rules. Something I really love about these horror movies because okay, just try to come up with theories, and that's something I love. Before the film, you were a horror fan or not?
not necessarily horror. I mean, what kind of horror? I mean, um, not splatter horror. Not like. But I like dark films, definitely. Yes, I mean, but I don't consider. I mean, the film is. They say it's part of horror genre, which I don't really. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. You're the horror specialist. Is this horror? Horror? I mean, does horror apply to that? I mean,
Mm. Yeah,
fantasy,
I, I have
more
I have
fantasy, probably, right?
Yeah, I have the same discussion with a lot of directors about this film and the Let the Right One In. That's a Swedish film about a little vampire. That for me, your film and this film, Swedish film, is not a horror film. Okay, yeah, the vampire is the protagonist, but it's more a drama in the first case, and in this case, I would call it, yeah, a drama, social commentary. Well, Anna commented in an interview that it's a western in some way.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know if you agree with
it
that.
has this elements. I'm supposed to say something in Spanish. Buenas noches, ¿cómo estás? To
Podemos hablar
Earthling
en
dot
español
Fritz.
si querés. Si querés, hablamos en español.
Y no, creo que no. Creo que mi español no es suficiente what is interview again?
Entrevista.
Entrevista. No es suficiente por una entrevista. Perdón. Next time. Next time. Um, what were you saying about
The Western, because Anna Lily saying in an
oh yeah,
interview that it's an
no,
Irani Western vampire film, something like that.
yeah, I mean, it has this long shots, the long shots and the silence, and it's also the lack of dialogue, and you know uh um being able to hold a moment for a very long time and everything. So that's where the influence was definitely the good and bad and the ugly, and
Yeah, yeah.
Also,
And tell me, when you read the script and you discussed the performance with Anna, did she tell you exactly what was happening, or she didn't tell you anything? Like, okay, this is the scene, you do this. She explains to you like, okay, because there's a scene where they are in the house with the actress. I can remember the name of the actress that plays the vampire. Um,
Sheila Van.
Sheila. The way you're Sheila, and suddenly she's going to beat you, and then she doesn't. But there's no explanation why she does that. Did
Why?
you
Why?
ask Anna what's going on with the characters?
When I'm at her place.
Yeah, yeah, you are in her place, and suddenly it
She
seems
hung,
she's going to bite you, but
yes,
she
exactly.
doesn't. And a lot of people ask why she's doing that.
Why she's not doing it, or why is she doing it?
Yeah, yeah, why she's not doing it. I mean,
Yeah, because she listens to his heartbeat, and she understands he's not one of the bad guys.
yeah.
Very simple. So, and I mean, the film would have gone to a different direction if she had bitten me. No.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's kind of because you should check all the interpretation that are on internet. It's very funny. Recently, there's a horror movie, an Argentinian horror movie that explodes everywhere. It's called Terrify, directed by a friend, Demian Rubna. And I sent it the YouTube commentary, and he laughed a lot because it's simpler than that. But he really laughed about all the commentary. I will send you then. You will laugh a
Please,
lot.
please, please.
And tell me about you did another horror film, Behind the Shadow. I think it's called. I watched
Un-
it recently.
mhm.
Um,
Under the Shadow, yeah. Under the
Under
Shadow.
the Shadow. And tell me, how did you arrive to that film, and what was the experience? Because in those cases, you play a completely different character, not so nice, I would say.
Sorry, I was reading. Sorry, I just someone
Oh
wrote
no,
something that I was trying to understand. Uh,
no.
go.
How did you arrive to the film, and because you play a completely different character there?
Yeah. In how I got the part for that, or how do you mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How do you got
Um,
the part?
well, the good thing is about being an Iranian actor. There are really, really good Iranian filmmakers around the world, and some of them, living abroad, not in Iran, but trying to, um, you know, use their heritage as something that they want to talk, that they want to tell stories about. And Babak Anvari, who's a great director, who did Under the Shadow. He made this, he combined this two genres, like about the war. It's a war film, or a film about the war and the psychological effect, and combined it with a horror genre, right? So something that I hadn't seen like this before. And he was just looking for actors around the world. He needed
Mm.
Iranian actors, and then that's how we connected. And
Mm. No, yeah, I really love the film because again, it's a new take of a genre. I like horror films when they do something new with the genre. Well, a girl walks alone,
exactly.
let the right one in. Films that they innovate in the way they present. They combine with other genres and they present new ideas. That's the
Exactly,
thing I love.
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a horror fan, but I always look into new things. I think I understand when you say it's not a splatter thing. It's
Exactly.
about,
Yeah, but it's
and
still thrilling. I think A Girl Walks Home was not terrifying as Under the Shadow. Under the Shadow was really, I couldn't watch it. I watched it like this. I was in the cinema. I was like doing like this, and the music and the sound effects, they were insane. That was really, really, really tough.
No, yeah, of course, it's a more traditional horror. Yeah, when I work, A Girl Walks Home, I didn't feel fear. For me, it was like I want to know more about these characters. It's like I was watching like a drama, and as you say, the name of the city is Bad City, actually, I think, or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yes, yes,
It's a
bad.
kind of a. And another thing I was interested is it's an oil town, like a
Exactly.
place where people do oil. And these kind of towns here in Argentina, for example, they are
Okay.
like that. They are full of prostitution,
Yeah, yeah,
drugs. I mean, it's a very everywhere is like
yeah.
that. So that
Because it's where
approach
the money
really
is, you know.
fascinates.
It's a very nice conglomerate of, you know, it's yeah, it's a hot spot, you know. Things come
Mm,
together. Where is oil, there is money, and you know, people coming and looking for their fortune. You know, they want to make a fortune, but maybe they don't, and then they become junkies, and then they some
mm,
are workers. You know, it's
mm.
that's also the Western part of it somehow. That's what's make it a modern Western. You know.
Mm. No, actually, it's very interesting that, well, I know some towns here in Argentina, and it's the same everywhere. I mean, they reproduce this logic because, in general, it's a town built only for the activity, and the
Ah,
people
yeah.
that they are there, they earn but a lot of money. They are workers that they have very high salaries, but they don't know what to do with that
Yeah.
salaries, and they get lonely. So there is all these drugs and
Mhm.
prostitution, and it's very they are very scary places in
Yeah,
real
yeah,
life.
indeed.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
yeah,
you to.
absolutely. Yeah, no
Yeah.
culture, no lack of culture, and lots of money. Not good combination.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, I really love how they describe this, and your character is like, how you say, middle class, and there's a scene when you are in like in a house with a very rich girl
Mm-hmm.
and something. It's kind of funny because this, logic of these towns, as I saw it in real life, in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like people that was really amazing. And did you talk about your character with Anna before, or there was improvisation?
No, there was. I mean, we rehearsed obviously, like a week or 2 weeks before we met, and I met met all the other actors, and we went through the scenes, and we you know, we rehearsed, and we had some months to cheers. Yeah, cheers. I'm trying to also react to what people write. I don't want to ignore them, so sorry when.
Ah, ok, ok. Y ella dice, ¿podrías comentar algo
Yes.
sobre la escena del puente? Es de las más impactantes de la película. He say, could you comment something of the scene of the bridge? Is one of the most shocking of the film. I think it's referring to when they are throwing the bodies, right? Es cuando
Yes,
tiran
yes,
los muertos.
yes, yes. Well, it shows the lack of empathy in that town. You know that everything. You know, even death is there is no ceremony or something. It's just like a throwing them in the pit, which is you know, yeah, that was little that was that was intense. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, was a lot of question about that, about the indifference. Like people die,
I mean,
people appear. I mean,
you associate things with that as well, right? I mean, I
mm,
don't want to go too deep, but I mean, but when the human bodies are just thrown like this,
mm.
it's
Yeah, actually, it's a kind of town where a vampire would, could be there and nobody knew there was a vampire because there's a lack of human contact, a lack of, empathy. So, well, a vampire is there, but nobody realized it.
exactly,
I found
yeah,
that fascinating.
exactly, yeah.
Hmm.
And
Tony,
about the acting, we so she told each and every one of us what she wanted from each character, and wrote these kind of archetype characters. The boy, the girl, the boy, the prostitute,
junkie.
the junkie, the rich girl, and then the harlequin, the harlequino, the guy with the balloon.
Yeah, I didn't understand much about that. There's again a lot of theories. What do you interpret of that?
What happened? He's some kind of trans person, and the one that in that city is still has a little flame of love and affection and empathy. He still, there were scenes that weren't in the film, where that character had more, but the film is very long already, so. But there were different side stories as well, and they didn't make it to the film. But that character was supposed to balance out a little bit. He was more the the counterpart to the junkie, and to not the junkie, to the dealer. I'm having this kebab. Okay. Nushijan.
You mentioned before that when you play a character, when you do a movie in let's say horror or genres or characters that are not from the real life, it's more interesting for an actor. Could you comment on that? Because I have a lot of friends that are actors that here in Argentina they play all the time themselves in every day, like in soap opera, and they want to know the experience of working in a genre film.
I mean, it's something you can do for every character, basically. But what was good on Lily's approach was also she said she gave us freedom to bring ideas and everything, and she just said, okay, he's something like James Dean. He's some kind of and James Dean is a character that is kind of young but sad, and has this, it's not only about the physical traits, but something broken, something broken for that. But also I did some work like animal work, and the good thing is, I mean, it doesn't only depend on genre film or not. You just treat it as a normal character. You play it, you give the dedication to the character that you would do to every character, but you have a little bit more freedom because not everything has to be completely realistic, But for my character, it wasn't necessarily. I mean, this character could have been in a different film as well, but you just have freedoms in the way you think, like what can he do and all this,
Well, if you want, I mean, I would like to introduce you some of the directors of Latin America, because you were in Colombia, in Mexico. You did a film in Mexico, so it would be great if you come here and do a film, horror or sci-fi.
As soon as travel is possible, Argentina is on my list.
Oh, great. And tell us about your trip from for Latin America, because I mean, you were in very amazing places.
I was, yeah. I traveled to Colombia and Peru and Mexico, and I absolutely love it, and I really miss it. Yeah, it was 5 years ago, five and a half years ago, back then you didn't you would not think, you know, that something like Corona happens and then we cannot travel suddenly. So um,
Yeah.
but it was one of the most inspiring and really, you know, life-changing experiences. Spain is amazing too, definitely. I will check out Spain as well. Yes, someone is writing Spain is amazing too. Definitely. Yes, I come back to Mexico definitely one day again, for sure, and also South America. I wanted to see Chile as well, Argentina, definitely.
Oh, great. No, you told me before that you know mate, actually.
Yeah, it's famous. Here we have some. I mean, in Berlin there are so many. There are so many, you know, Latin American people from everywhere. Americans, Italians, Spanish, uh, Argentinians,
Mm,
Colombian, very international.
mm.
Yeah.
No, yes. Well, great, great. I mean, we expect to come and well, what about sci-fi? Are you interested in doing sci-fi? Because it's another genre. I mean, it's
Hmm.
fantastic, but at the same time, it has their own rules.
Hmm. Definitely. I mean, yeah, I was more, you know, when I started doing films, I was doing more drama and, you know, very realistic stories, as you said, like social commentary films and all this. Um, but I would love to explore more. I mean, the last show I did was more action. You know,
Mm.
it was a very, you know, the Tehran, the TV series. There was kind of, you know, thriller and action, and um, I could totally see myself doing something like Prometheus or Alien or whatever, you know. I don't know, like some Ridley Scott stuff, you know.
Mm. Have you thought on going to LA, or you prefer to stay in Germany?
Uh, I want to shoot more internationally, definitely, yeah. But
Mm.
I would say living in LA, no, I would spend time there, yeah, but not necessarily moving to LA, no.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, if you go, let me know because I am in contact with a lot of actors and people there, so maybe they can help you there, so you can do the sci-fi. We would love to see that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as soon as I said, as soon as travel is possible again,
Yeah, we
I will.
hope, we hope. I am also feel trapped here, but yeah, no, yeah. And this a question I always ask to everyone is, how would you like to be remembered?
Oh. Um, how would I like to be remembered?
Yep.
As uh, as someone who told a good joke, and you know, someone who made people laugh, maybe.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's a good way.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
no,
someone who and
excellent.
someone who's famous for eating lots of chili.
Oh,
But but
did you
that
do that
yeah,
in Mexico?
people know me for I'm famous for eating chili, so
Oh, really?
yeah, they will remember me as for that as well.
Oh, that's a good thing. Actually, in Colombia, there's a food called bandeja paisa. I don't know if you try it. That it's so big. I eat it a lot of that, but it's impossible to finish it because it's. What about Colombia? That in Latin America, you try a lot of food, I guess.
Oh yes, my favorite was Peruvian, obviously. Ceviche.
Oh, Peru. Oh,
I can eat ceviche every day. I I could eat ceviche every day, 3 times a day. It's wonderful.
oh, wow. Yeah,
And,
yes, and I was thinking about people ask me about the series Tehran. Where can be watched the series, or
it's on
we have
Apple
to
TV.
download
Apple
it
TV.
with torrent?
It's Apple TV. It's Apple TV.
Ah, oh,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
and I think it's not so expensive for the monthly membership. you can you know, book it and then uh, just watch all 8
Mm,
and then cancel it again.
mm. By the way, are you planning to do another film with Anna?
Not right. We haven't planned it right now, but we are in contact. So definitely, if it works out one day, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, I love the Bad Batch. I don't know if you watch it.
Yeah, I watched that.
Actually, I starting to see like a pattern in her films. I mean, he really loves this Western post-apocalyptic because in a way the
Exactly.
Bad City and Bad Batch. I mean, the two towns are like one is post-apocalyptic, but again it could be the city in A Girl Walks at Home could be interpreted as a kind of dystopian future or something like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, something like that as well. Right. Yes,
Mm.
definitely. That was her thing for a while.
Ah, yeah.
I don't know what her new project is about, but for sure she has something coming up. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean
yeah.
she allows herself to play with things, you know, and ideas, and I like that too. That's dystopian is maybe the right, uh, not necessarily. I mean, sci-fi can be dystopian. You know, you have the
Mm.
Lobster, which is dystopian. You know, have you seen you know, I like the dystopian aspect. Let's put it that way. Like, let's assume the world is different to what we know.
Mm.
And, that's something I like. Yeah.
Have you read any sci-fi authors or?
Funnily, no, no. I'm more into kind of normal literature.
Oh,
Um,
if
yeah.
you want, I can send you
Yeah.
some
Yes. Yeah.
short
Great.
short
Yeah.
stories
Recommend
that
me
will
one. Yeah.
blow
It's
your
good. It's
mind.
good for the fantasy. It's good for the fantasy. Yeah.
Mm.
You can recommend me one, huh?
No, yeah, well, I always recommend an author from Latin America, but also I know a lot from the Anglo-Saxon world.
Okay.
But a lot of, there's I always recommend Jorge Luis Borges and Julio
I.
Cortázar are two authors
Oh, yes. Yes.
that
Yes. Cortázar.
I
I
do you
know
know
from
them.
my. Yeah. Yeah. Julio Cortázar. I know from my friend. He was Belgian, Argentinian, right?
Argentina, yeah, well, he was born in Argentina,
Okay.
and he traveled, and a lot of directors from the U.S. they use the short stories and they adapt and it, as an inspiration. For example, Christopher Nolan for Inception, he used two
Ah.
stories of Borges. I
Ah.
mean, he
Same there.
it's incredible. I mean, I've spoke with a lot of writers in the US, in LA, and they, of course, the all, even Philip Dick is a sci-fi author. He read Borges, and because Borges is more about fantasy than science fiction. You know, it's not
Mhm.
about explanation is a machine. It's more like the explanation is a magic artifact, or there's no explanation, right?
Okay.
That's amazing.
Is there a good translation?
I don't know. Yes, yes, I have it here. I have it. No, I will send you. I
In
have the all
English?
the translation.
In English?
Actually, he was bilingual, so he did the translation himself.
In English.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he was translated to German.
Yeah, yeah,
You can find
definitely.
it in Berlin. I'm really sure, but I will send you in English. I'm sure I can find it in German. I mean, because he's like a universal.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. You will see. It will blow your mind.
Yeah, I heard a lot about Borges. I mean, I love Garcia Marquez is not necessarily fantasy, but I loved his realismo mágico. See,
Yeah.
that's
My,
I love Garcia Marquez a lot, and Vargas Llosa I read a little bit, but Borges is on the list. Okay, yeah, now I okay. Read okay. Now I spoke to Adrian, and I will read Borges and then write something myself.
Yeah, you see, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course we have to work on your writing too. No, because it was really nice to have this anthology from people from all the world. Actually, there's a lot of projects doing that, and yeah, nowadays it's possible thanks to the quarantine now. Ironically,
Mhm.
no, no, no. So well, Arash, thank you very much for this
Thank you.
chat, this talk, and we will keep in touch. I will send you all the. I will send you the movie I told you about. You know, the ones that they returned. That if you can send it to Anna the movie too, because
I
the
will.
director is a
I
big
will.
fan of
I
Anna,
will. She
so
will. She
I
will.
hope she liked
I
it.
will. I send it definitely. Send me the link. I will send it to her.
Oh, thank you very much, and
Thank
well,
you.
we keep in touch.
We keep in
Bye
touch.
bye.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Goodbye.
Bye.